Well, howdy there, folks. This is your host, ID Jester. Welcome back to Advanced Squad Leader Scenario 11, a long way to go. We're currently in episode 4 here as we're doing not a live stream, but just a normal recording for you guys. And be sure to leave your thoughts and comments from the last episode and this episode. And been getting a lot of good comments. Seems like everyone out there is enjoying this, watching some advanced squad leader, talking strategy, and getting to see some action. Just a thing of note, uh, I'm hoping to continue this series, through this scenario, and then, when we start the next scenario, we're going to try to go through it a little bit faster. We won't have to talk as much strategy. We'll kind of, kind of weave this scenario as kind of our strategy points. I want to new, if we're playing with different ordnance or guns or vehicles or whatever, we might talk some strategy there. But anyways, if you watched the end of the last episode, we ended up getting a mortar attack on this building. A very good attack. Unfortunately, it did not do very as much damage, I guess, as we were hoping. If we can break this medium machine gun, or do something damaging to it. That 9 minus 1 leader really saved that squad there last time. But we do have an acquisition now on there. That's what that big 5/8 counter is, that acquisition marker. It's a -1 to his attack. Remember, his normal attack is a 7 or less. In this case, we're rolling an 8 or less now because of the marker. So we'll get another attack. And we rolled a 5. And again, rate of fire is a 2. And if it's a 1, 2, or 3, we get to keep our rate of fire. So again, we're going to get to shoot again. So we secured another hit. So we're going to get to flip this over, and that's not what I meant to do. Thank you. Let's unbreak all these units that somehow got broken. All right, that's what I meant to do. Because I had them all selected, I flipped them all. I got you. Okay, that was my fault. All right, so now we're at a -2. So we got this pretty much targeted in this spot. So now we have to roll again on the chart here. And we're on, again, just a normal attack. So we're on the 4 column because it's area fire. We have to half our normal attack. So if you're not sure about how mortars act and stuff, we did a pretty good in-depth tutorial on mortar attacks last episode, so be sure to watch that. So we're on the 4 column, and we're going to add +2 to our dice roll. Roll the 4. Nice, the whole result again. So we rolled the 4 +2 is a 6. So this time it's a normal morale check. So 2 shots, we're getting something out of it, at least. I'm just going to move this down there. So the leader is this one up here is a 9 morale. And it's just a normal morale check, so he has to roll less than 9, and he does. So he gets to add his -1 to the dice roll for the squad there, and the squad's going to roll. He rolls a 7, -1 for the leader, and that's going to put him at 6. And so once again, the leader has saved the squad. That's why your leaders, your -1 and your -2 leaders are so valuable. They can take these results and change them from something bad into something okay. Because if this unit would have failed his morale check, obviously he'd break, but if he rolls exactly what his morale is, he would have pinned, which could be very good. So once again, another solid shot up there, but unfortunately not enough damage, but we did get rate of fire, so we're going to get to attack again. Same attack. This time we're at -2, 7 normal, minus the 2 to the dice roll. So 9 or less will be a hit. And we rolled an 8, so good thing we got an acquisition marker up here, so a nice solid 8. But our colored dice is now a 6, so this will be our last attack with this mortar. So he's got 3 good shots this time. But we didn't get to go through all the mortar stuff the first time it shot because it shot once and missed, and that was all it did. So at least we got a chance to talk about mortars and explain how they work in the game because they're different than a lot of other weapons. So this will be his last attack. Let's see what he does. He rolls a 7 on the 4 column, is again a pin task check. So leader first is a 9. He's fine, so he's going to add -1 to the dice roll for the squad. The squad rolls a 6, -1 is a 5, so he's fine as well. So unfortunately, all of that shooting got done, and unfortunately, flip. There we go. And we'll clone that. There we go. Unfortunately, those 3 attacks had some chances. And that's all you're asking for is try to give me some chances. If I can get some chances to do some damage, at least I have a chance of doing something. And in fact, if it wasn't for that -1 German leader, the unit would have failed his pin task check, and he would have failed his normal morale check as well. Well, he wouldn't have failed the morale check. He would have equaled his morale, so he would have been pinned. But we came very close to pinning that medium machine gun. Unfortunately, we didn't end up doing it. So, unfortunately, with all that said, these 2 units didn't really help decide what this unit is going to do up here. Again, the other thing to take into consideration whether to stay or to leave, again, if you're unsure about what I'm talking about, we kind of went into a in-depth discussion about the different strategies about whether this unit should stay and the advantages he might have, or if he should run. He could just run back into this space, or he could end up running into this space and running back here and then advancing into this space. Problem with all of that is he's going to be out in the open. Is it worth the risk to do that? We have to assume that this unit, he's not going to be able to see him as he moves. He would have to CX. Or does he try to damage some more German units with his firepower, take a shot with the bazooka? He can still advance in the advance phase. That's true. He could take a double shot, stay where he's at, and then advance. Assuming he lives through all the attacks. I think what I'm going to do, just because I want to show you guys some stuff, and he stayed here purposely to shoot the bazooka, we're going to go ahead and I think I'm going to just have him stay there. Now, in the comments section below here, let me know what you think. I'm just so tempted. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, advance here, and then live through that turn, and then he can get into this building hex here. We would have a leader with a mortar. Not that that helps because he's just a 0 leader. No, all right. We're going to do a fighting withdrawal with him. Okay. So he is going to prep fire. So the question is, first off, does he attack with his bazooka, this hex here, or this hex here? This has got 2 full squads with a light machine gun. This has got a broken squad, a full squad, and a leader. So this is obviously a more dangerous hex. It's still 2 hexes away. So I think he will shoot the bazooka over to this hex here. The only advantage of shooting this hex here is he could DM that broken squad, which will cause him to you know, take longer to rally. But trying to get rid of some of these full squads without a leader in that hex might be a good thing as well. So I think he's going to shoot the bazooka over there. Again, the bazooka is range of 2. Normal 2-hit is an 8, but we have to subtract 3 to the dice roll. I'm sorry, we have to add 3 to the dice roll from being in the stone building here. All right, so let's take a shot. The leader, again, leaders can only direct one fire or fire group attack per phase, so or per turn. Sorry. So if the leader helps them shoot the bazooka, then he won't be able to help the squad. It's much better to have him help the squad. So the leader's not going to be involved in this at all. He's just going to shoot it. Again, it's 8 plus 3 on the dice roll. Let's see if the American player can get lucky enough to get that result. Now, the dice should be in our favor because if you watched our live stream, we had a great maneuver where we had a unit here that was going to come down here, he was going to throw smoke, and he was going to run away, and he was going to come up to this building. It was going to be a great maneuver, and he had a perfect plan. The only thing that happened was he needed to throw smoke in this hex to block his retreat out of there. And of course, he rolled a 6 on that, which caused him to immediately end his movement phase and be stuck right there. And the Germans swarmed in there on him and immediately eliminated him in close combat. So the dice should be in the favor of the American at this point, because the bell curve. It's the dice have got to come back sooner or later. Let's give it a whirl and see what happens. 5 or less secures a hit. 2 would be a critical hit. We rolled a 9. So the weapon is not eliminated, fortunately. But unfortunately, it is a miss. Wah, 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 wah. Okay, well, maybe he should have ran. Well, let's see what he can do with his squad. Well, his leader can direct his squad, so at least he won't cower, which is a good thing. We got 7 firepower, so we could use 7 plus 3 on this hex. We can do a 7 plus 3 on this hex, or we can do a 14 plus 2 attack on this hex. So obviously, these are probably the most dangerous unit for him. We're going to do a 14 because he's adjacent. You double your firepower, so that's a 7 doubled is 14. And then we're going to add in any modifiers. Of course, the terrain effect modifier is plus 2. So it's a 14. And there is no 14 column because we're gone back to just a regular IFT. So we're going to go down to the 12 column and we're going to add 2 to our dice roll. So just assume if we rolled a 7, we're going to add 2. We're going to get a normal morale check. Normally is what we're looking for. So let's see if we can secure that. I rolled a 6, and this is why we didn't use our leader as just perfect. I couldn't plan this any better. Why we talked about the fact that leaders can only direct one attack or fire group. And so there was no need for the leader to help with the bazooka attack. The leader was to make sure the squad doesn't cower. If the leader would have used his bonus, let's say it was a 8 minus 1 leader, and he would have used his bonus on the bazooka attack, then the infantry could have cowered. But in this case, we rolled a 6, and we're going to add 2, so that's going to be an 8 on the 14 column. There is no 14, so an 8 is going to give us a 1 morale check. And that, my friends, is what we were looking for. Now, can the German player, can he resist our attack? So we'll roll for the first squad here. So it's a plus 1 to the dice roll. He rolls a 6 plus 1 is a 7. So he has pinned this unit. So I will put this up here. We'll use that here in a minute. The other squad rolls a 5 plus 1 is a 6, so he's fine. So the top squad there ended up getting pinned. And so what I want to do is move the other squad up above him. And so it should look like this. where, yeah, I guess would just move the top squad down to the bottom. It doesn't matter because of the exact same squad, but so he ended up getting pinned. All that, he missed his bazooka attack, and he only got one pin out of his fire attack. So, not the best results that the American player could have hoped for. Unfortunately for him, that leaves us with just one other group of units. Unfortunately, the German player has not decided to come around this hill. That's why we put these guys here. We're kind of trying to force them up this way. And now I'm thinking as the American player. Okay, I'm not thinking as a German. I'm just giving you American ideas. Um, we wanted to put a good stack of units here because there's a lot of clear terrain, and the German player, if he decides to come this way, is going to be taking some pretty good firepower. So we're actually kind of funneling them in the middle and hopefully up here to the north. The reason we want to funnel them up here to the north is because mortar fire, one of the other special things about mortar fire, if you shoot a mortar into a woods hex, instead of a +1 modifier on the table once you secure a hit, instead of a +1 modifier, if you're in a woods, you actually get a -1 modifier. So it changes the plus into a minus, which is great. So if we can funnel them up into the woods up there, hopefully our mortar can actually do more damage. All right, so that's why we did that. Um, so that's just thinking as the American player there, kind of just strategy-wise in the back of my head, what's going on. All right, so that is the prep fire phase. So we're actually going to go into the movement phase now. Next phase is the movement phase. So obviously we only have one unit that can even move, which is this unit. So the question is there any advantage to moving him somewhere else? There could be, but obviously if we're moving down through here, then we can be shot by these guys. We got a hill kind of blocking line of sight. The only thing we might want to do is, could we move into this hex? We could actually fire down the road here if there was somebody in this hex. That's kind of the only advantage. The only other advantage is, we're going to be shooting through this hindrance here. And if we go through this orchard onto any hill hex, that would be bad. So if we were actually in this and we have to cross any of this orchard and into these units that are up on the hex, actually this is a obstacle. Um, it blocks line of sight, so you can't see if it's not at the same level. So there's absolutely no reason for us to move. So we are just going to. Well, I mean, with that said, we could take one of these sixes and move it over there. Because at this point, the German player isn't really pushing this side very much. We could bring another firepower over here, which I think we actually might do. The question is that we can move him here. We move him here. This is going to cost line of sight there. So he would not have line of sight. Then we can advance into that space there. The reason we would not want to move him into there is because he could have, no, he can't have line of sight because this orchards are a full um, hex terrain, even though they just have 4 little flowers on them, 4 little bushes, including hex side. So this unit here is shooting right down the hex side, so that line of sight's blocked. So you know what? I am going to move one of these units. So yeah, no sense in CXing. That's fine. We'll just advance him. Oops. How did that happen? There we go. All right, so 2 movement factors to move there. I don't think anybody can see him. Actually, these guys, they have a range of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they could actually. That's true. Assuming there's no line of sight being blocked there. Let's see. Let me get rid of those just so I can kind of eyeball things. Oh yeah, there's definitely line of sight between these two. Okay. I could move here and then here. If I shoot here, he's going to be at half firepower, so that'll be a 3 attack. It'll be a -2 for moving the open and non-assault move. One unit is, oh, they only have 4 firepower, so yeah, it would only be, it'd be a 2 attack, 2 + 2. I don't really need him. Yeah, that's fine. I think I'm willing to risk it. All right, I am going to move here. So that kind of puts a good question to the Germans now. Because I do have this guy that's open. You can see him. There's line of sight, I believe. Again, I just want to yeah, there certainly looks like there should be. Okay. Sometimes it's really hard to tell on the computer. There is line of sight. He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces, so it would be long range. And if he does decide to defensive fire at me down here, he's not going to be able to use double his firepower to shoot at this guy. So, German player, what do you want to do? Well, if I'm the German player, I've already made up my mind. I got to try to take out this guy. So I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to defensive fire at you because it would be a very bad attack. It would be 4 firepower at half is 4 firepower halved is 2, and the pin unit would be halved and then halved again, so it'd be 1. So we'd only have 3 firepower shooting at long range, and it'd be a -2 on the 2 column. So you can, I mean, yeah, it'd be a -2 on the 2 column. He could possibly get a morale check, but he's got better target. I mean, normally you would want to take that shot, but he's going to have a much better attack against this guy. So he's going to let him go. So that was another movement factor. So that was 3 movement factors total, and 1 more movement factor to go there. Now this line of sight's blocked because of the building, and that's 4 movement factors, and he's done moving. I think that'll be it. I think we'll just keep our other squad and leader right there. Hopefully keeping this southern flank secured. Unfortunately now, kind of weakened ourselves here, but you can always move them back if we need to. So movement phase is done. That's going to bring us to a very important defensive fire phase for the German player here. So we have to think about what he wants to do here. So yeah, this brings up another good point. Because we have switched back to the regular infantry fire table, you can see there's only certain columns, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24 in firepower total. If the German player decides he wants to do a fire group between these units here, he has 4 firepower there. He's got 4, 4, and 3, so that's 4, 8, 12, 30, 40, 15 total that he could put together. The problem with 15 firepower is you see there is no 15. It's not 16, so it dropped down to the 12 column. So in reality, what that means is the unit can add his 4. These 2 units can add their 4, and that would equal 12. So there's no need to shoot the light machine gun if we don't want to. The light machine gun, if it adds its firepower, it's not going to adjust which column we're going to shoot on. We're still going to be shooting on the same column. The only advantage or disadvantage is that the light machine gun could break if we rolled. And the advantage of using the light machine gun would be if we roll a 1 on the colored dice, we would get rate of fire and we would be able to shoot it again. So it's a question of, do you want to include the light machine gun for the extra rate of fire? And the disadvantage is, if you do include it, it could break if you roll if you roll a 12 during the attack. So it's kind of a risky maneuver. Do you want to do it because it's not adding anything? So in this case, the German player declines to use the light machine gun. He is going to create a fire group. It's going to be at 12, and it's going to be a terrain modifier of +1. Everybody has a normal range. Just want to double check. Yep, okay. So he'll be shooting a 12 +1 for the woods, and he rolls a 7 +1 is an 8 on the 12 column. An 8 is a 1 morale check, so German player is pretty happy about that result. 1 morale check. Well, that could spell doom for the German. I'm sorry, for the American here. We shall see. 1 morale check is going to add 1 to the dice roll. First thing we got to do is we got to check the leader first. So leader's an 8. We got to add 1 to the dice. He rolls a 10. +1 is 11. And the 11 is obviously going to break the leader. So all those people who last episode said, yeah, I think you should stay and fight, you can see what happens. So we are going to break him. And now we have a squad here that is a 7 morale. And he's not going to have any benefit of the leader. So +1 in the die roll for the M1 result. So that is a 6 +1 is a 7. He is a 7, so he is going to pin the squad. Well, things are going downhill for the Americans as usual. All right, so got the leader who's DM'd. Then we have the bazooka. I guess we should put that above the bazooka. I'm not sure the exact methodology of whether the pin should be on the squad or the bazooka, but that's kind of not good for the American, because the American was going to try to, in the advance phase, advance out of there. Now he's pinned and broken leader, and things are starting to unravel, and we haven't even got to the rest of it yet, because that is now. Let's go ahead and clone this, and we're going to clone some more of them, and you know what, let's clone some more in case we need one. Alright, so these guys have, oh, not all of them. Jeez. Oh, he's running out of space. Alright, we'll just take this one, thank you. So we have this unit over here. So this is going to be interesting. So I have a full squad here with 4 firepower. It's going to be doubled because he's adjacent. That is going to be an 8 firepower. Then we have a 4 squad that is halved because he's pinned, and then doubled because he's adjacent. So it's going to go from 4 down to 2, back up to 4. So 8 firepower and 4 firepower again is 12 firepower coming in on this unit's right here. We will do an attack. So it's a 9 +1 on the 12 column. So 9 +1 is a pin task check. Pin task check. So the leader is already broken, so they don't need to make a pin task check. And the other leader, or the other squad, is already pinned. So In this case, we do not need to roll any pin task check. You can't be double pinned, so we can just ignore that result. If any other squad was in that hex that was not pinned or broken, then you would obviously roll for that. So the pin task check was obviously probably the best result we could have hoped for, other than maybe having them roll really, really bad. All right, well, that gets us to some more goodies for the German. Now, we have this medium machine gun here. It's going to shoot, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hexes away. All right, so the medium machine gun has a range of 12, so no problem with that. So we can throw in his 5 firepower. The 4.67, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so it's just outside his range there. So he's only going to throw in 2 firepower. And that's kind of important because you can see the medium machine gun falls here and it's going to drop down to the 4 column. By adding in the 2 firepower from the squad, it's going to go from a 5 to a 7, which is here, and it's going to drop down to the 6 column. So in this case, adding this squad in is going to matter which column we're going to use. So we're going to use the 6 firepower column. And in fact, we're going to get a -1. And what kind of terrain? And he's going to be a +1 from the woods, a -1 from the leader there. So it's going to be a straight up, dead even shot on the 6 column. See what kind of damage this medium machine gun does. Again, it's kind of the first time we actually shot this, but medium machine gun, you can see, has a box 2, which means it has a rate of fire of 2 for his attack. So if he rolls a 1 or 2 on the yellow dice here, the colored dice, he will get to shoot again for free. Unfortunately, the squad won't get to shoot again, but the medium machine gun will. So again, it's 5 firepower for the medium machine gun, 2 firepower for the squad because he's at long range. That makes a total of 7. There is no 7 column, so it's going to drop down to 6. We get a +1 from the woods. We get a -1 from the leader, so it's a straight up 6 firepower shot. He rolls a 5. He rolled a 2. So the machine gun will get to fire again. So it's a 5. A 5 is a 1 morale check. And this could spell doom for the Americans here. 1 morale check. If he fails this, he's going to be in trouble because his mortar is going to be out of commission until we can get a leader over there. Our only leader that we have left in the game is right here. He's going to have to run all the way over here to try and rally this guy, which means he's going to leave this guy over here by himself. But anyways, first thing we have to do, wait a minute, it was a 5, straight up 5. What was it again? A 5 is a 1 morale check. Okay, so we're going to add 1 even to the dice roll. This unit back here has only got a morale of 6, so it's not even that got a very good morale. It's actually considered a bad morale of 6. So let's roll the dice, add 1 to it. Oh my God, he rolled a natural 12. So he's going to casualty reduce, which is going to eliminate the half squad, and he would have ELR'd because he had a 13 total, which is higher than his morale. And so that medium machine gun just blew these guys away. Just completely eliminated them, gone, out of the game, targeted them in, and just ripped them. Well, okay, and he kept his rate of fire, which means he could shoot again, but he actually, unfortunately, doesn't have anyone to shoot. So I guess we will mark this as final fired. And these guys can't see anyone, so they're not going to fire either. But man, oh man, things have turned very, very bad for the Americans very, very quickly. In fact, with the broken leader, this guy's going to get probably, I don't know if he'll get advanced on, but they'll have to probably not be in CX. Um, might not be because they'll get full shot next turn. So we'll have to think about that. Anyways, just trying to think ahead. So that's defensive fire in a nutshell. It's done. Next, advanced fire. No advanced fire. Everybody prep fired. This guy could advance fire, but he can't see anybody because the building's blocking his line of sight. And now I'm thinking about maybe even bringing this guy over here to the border. But, hmm, he would have to stay in this hex here. It's going to take him a couple turns to, at least another turn before he can get there. Hmm. All right. No advance fire, as we just talked about. Routes. Let's see. Let's use our new little tool here. Oh, hey, there's broken units here. So, this leader, I'm just going to slide him out for right now. And we'll just leave the rest of the counters there. Oh, we can actually take, we can remove, where's our, up. What are you doing? What did I just do? I hope I didn't screw anything up. What did I just do? Undo, undo, go back, go back. Don't tell me I killed it all. No, 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 no. What the hell happened? Did I remove the unit somehow? Okay, shh. Having a little worried there. I got a bead of sweat on my forehead. Sorry about that. I meant to click this button, and we're going to get rid of, not those. God darn it. I just clicked on the DM. I meant to get rid of prep fire, because we're done with the prep fire phase. All right, so I'm going to have to get some more DM counters out. In fact, why not? We'll get that out. All right, so this leader here has to move into the closest woods and or building hex when he routes. So that could be this one or this one, but it can't be any closer to a known enemy unit. So he could go either place. He cannot go adjacent to a known enemy unit, so he's going to have to go here for two movement factors, or two, uh, movement factors. He gets 6 movement factors when he rounds, but once he gets into a location, he must stop unless he can move into another adjacent, and so he's going to pretty much be forced to stop there. Was there anybody else that needs to route? These guys here. That. No, he will stay where he's at. These guys are okay. These guys didn't break, they only pinned. These guys didn't break at all. These guys didn't do anything, and these guys didn't do anything. So I think that was the only route that we need to absolutely do. The reason he has to route is because he was adjacent to a known enemy unit. So he has to get away from him. I mean, it makes sense. Your guys are getting shot at. half of them are cowering and trying to find somewhere safe to go, so they got to get away from these guys. Okay, that was the route phase. Advance phase, next phase. Advance. So this American could advance. No, he can't because he's pinned. So that's one of the reasons pinning are so good. We can actually get rid of prep fire, residual, defensive fire. Defensive fire, yeah, we can get rid of all those. There we go. That's a good button to have. I'll get control of that button pretty soon. Trust me, folks, I will. All right. So he can't advance because he's pinned. So we actually have an interesting situation. What does this guy do? I think he's just, there's no sense in advancing him over here because he's just going to be out in the open. He won't have any cover. He maybe be able to see somebody, but he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so it's going to be long range. If he's trying to get to this mortar, he could advance from here into this hex and then in another phase move here, and then move there. So he might as well advance into this hex there. These guys, jeez, I guess are going to be done. Sure. So no more advancing. Next phase is close combat phase. There is no close combat phase because we don't have anybody in the same hex. And we're going to go on to the next phase, which will be the Axis player turn number 3. So we can remove a bunch of counters now, like pin, right? What else? I think that's it for right now. And we are now in turn number 3. Unfortunately, the American player, having that leader break, not ideal. The problem is going to be at the end of this turn, what happens up here with this squad. Because this squad still got a pretty good attack, but he's going to get probably attacked first. And if they can break him and move into this space here during the movement phase, then these guys won't have anywhere to route, and they're going to be in some serious, serious trouble. I mean, they could route there, but then, I mean, that doesn't really solve the problem. Well, I mean, the leader could rally. Losing this mortar unit right now is ideal for the Germans. Fortunately, the American player got very lucky. If we're looking at it, we got extremely lucky when we decided to move this 666 over this way. Because we got actually 2 units that we can now use. I mean, if the Germans start making a break for it, start running down here, you know, if we only had 1 squad here, he's only going to be able to shoot at a couple of them. The rest of them are just going to, you know, come running down the board. And he doesn't have any mortar to help support anymore. So the German is going to be able to move units around now, which is going to be a problem. He wants to be able to take out this hex with this medium machine gun. So he's going to find some position. He's looking at this building here. If he can find a way to get there, yeah, he can. He can move here, he can move here, and then he can move in there. And then he's going to have, oh yeah, this is going to get real ugly for the Americans real quick. Let me know what you think in the comments below. It's going to be interesting. Next turn is going to really tell the tale of what's going to happen. If the Germans can do something about this unit here, get his units into here, which he's going to be able to do very easily. The only way if the Americans still had that half squad on this mortar, then this unit can't go here and go here because then this guy can just pummel that top of the. I don't think it's blocked by that building. he could just pummel that spot right there. But without anybody there, the German player is free to move here. Nobody can see him. He can move here. This unit can't see him. This unit can't see him because this building blocks it. And this unit can't see it because this building blocks it. And then he can move into this building right here, which will cause defensive fire to happen, but at least he'll have a +2 terrain effect modifier then. Plus he has a 9-1 leader that's going to help him. Wow. It's going to get rough for the Americans. I hate to say it. And now that the German player, it's his activation, he's going to be able to move some units. He's got enough units to really, I mean, we only have one squad that's going to be able to defensive fire. Oh boy, it's going to get real rough. Let me know what you know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.